Today's video is going to be brought to you by Sonoma Valley Tech, who just joined my membership program at the AA level. Thank you so much. Also, Tyler Brasil, who has upgraded to the big leagues. Congratulations on making it to the show. Travis Wilson as well. Zatras Adama as well. Thank you so much. And John Miller, some of my newest members. You guys are awesome. Yes, John Miller has joined. It is true. So you guys have a great day. Let's get to the video. What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Humm Baby Baseball channel, and today it's time for a series preview, the first of the year. The Giants are taking on the San Diego freaking Padres, the much improved and very scary San Diego Padres. How well can the Giants face up against this team after a pretty disappointing opening series against the Mariners? I must say they lost 2 out of 3, but even more disappointing was that game 1 absolutely horrific meltdown where the bullpen just comes in with a 6-1 lead. Kevin Gausman pitched great. Home runs from Posey, home run from Longoria, a home run from Slater, and the bullpen chokes it completely. The Giants able to tie the game from Dickerson, but end up losing that one. Put it behind us, won game 2, but then they get shut out in game 3. So going into this San Diego Padres series, we got a Padres team who won 3 out of 4 against the D-backs and are off to a pretty good start. So things don't look great from that perspective. But let's get into the matchups and everything like that as well. And if there's one good thing we can't take away from the Seattle series, like I said, was the bats. Even though they got shut out in game 3, we saw a couple homers from Posey, a couple homers from Longoria. We saw the amazing Donovan Solano. He's hitting 500 on the young season. Dickerson goes deep in his first at bat. And like I mentioned, Gausman, who will face the Padres, he was great, nearly dominant in game 1. He deserved the W, and hopefully he can get one against the Pods. We'll see. But let's start here with game 1, and we're talking about Anthony DeSclafani, and he's going to be taking on Adrian Morejon. And we can see here the little statements here. DeSclafani making his Giants debut after signing a 1-year deal, and he was impressive in spring training. 2.79 ERA, 9 2/3. And then Morejon, who is also a guy who's got great stuff, young pitcher, had a 3.21 ERA with 17 strikeouts in 14 innings. But we're going to also look at some of the matchups historically, you know, with these two pitchers against these offenses, even though there's not a big sample size. But Morejon did face the Giants last year. Giants were 5 for 17 with a home run and 7 strikeouts. He didn't walk a single Giant. But the home run was hit by a guy who could be in the lineup tonight, and that is Mauricio Dubon. He is 2 for 2 in his career against Morejon. And the only other Giant player with some success was Yastrzemski, and he needs to get going this year. But he was 2 for 3 in that game and 3 for 4 in his career against Morejon. And Solano also was 1 for 1. Not surprisingly, Solano able to get a hit there against Morejon in his career. But then you have DeSclafani, who, with the exception of a home run given up to Tatis Jr., he dominated the Padres in April of 2019 back with the Reds, throwing 6 strong innings, 6 strikeouts, allowed just 2 hits. One of them that home run, and the other one a single by Machado, who is 1 for 6 in his career against DeSclafani. And most of the lineup have not hit well against him. You got Will Myers, who's 1 for 11, for example. And just, you know, overall, based on this small historical sample, the Giants should feel decent about this matchup. Anything can happen, we know. But I think the Giants should feel pretty good about this. DeSclafani seems to match up well against this lineup, and the Giants can hit Morejon. I mean, like I said, Yastrzemski has just hit him very well, and we know Solano's going to hit pretty much everyone very well. So with the lefty on the mound, probably Dickerson will get the start off. Slater could be in there, should be in there, and we'll see. But the Giants, I like their chances in game 1. I think they can jump out to a nice lead. I think DeSclafani can have a nice, you know, debut with the Giants. I'm not saying he's going to go throw a no-hitter or anything of that nature. The Padres are going to score some runs as well. But I really believe if the Giants are going to just say, let's just say they take just 1 of 3, which is, you know, disappointing, but, you know, better than getting swept. I think this is the one they got to take. I think the Giants have the edge in game 1. But then we get into game 2, and obviously now this matchup looks not as good on paper. Obviously, Aaron Sanchez Okay, Aaron Sanchez is, a first-round pick. Obviously, it was a nice pickup for the Giants, but, he hasn't been good for quite a while. Missed all of last year, and we'll see what he can do against Darvish. Darvish is Darvish. This dude is a monster out there. He was a bit rocky, as it says here, in his debut with the Padres. Allowed 4 runs and needed 93 pitches to get through 4 2/3. Struck out 6, showed flashes of the pitcher who finished second in the NL Cy Young last year. Now, historically against the Giants, most of the Giants he has been good against, not surprisingly, but a couple of relative newcomers to the Giants, and 2 of our big names, Alex Dickerson and Mike Yastrzemski, are combined 5 for 10 against him, each with a home run. So you should have Dickerson 100% in that lineup since Darvish is right-handed. Evan Longoria has the biggest sample against Darvish, and he has gone deep, but in 21 career at-bats, just 4 hits. That's a 191 average. So I don't expect the Giants to just go crush Darvish by any means. I think he's going to pitch well. I think he's going to be better. I think he's going to have a bounce-back game after the rocky start in his first outing. I think he's going to be better in this game, and I think he's going to pitch well. But I do think that we can hope that Giants will get on the board against him. They will do some damage at least, and hopefully keep the game close. And that's where when it comes to Aaron Sanchez, how has he done against the Padres? Well, he's had limited success against Machado, a guy he's faced quite a bit in the American League. 35 at bats, 171 career average. Most of their best young players, like Tatis, like Grisham, like Cronenworth, have never faced Sanchez. So he wasn't that great in spring training. He's just 28, like I said, a first rounder, obviously some good stuff. I think Giants are hoping that they get something out of him overall for this year, that he can eat up some innings, have some good starts. But honestly, if I'm just being honest, this is obviously not a great matchup for the Giants right here. You never know. And I'm hopeful that Aaron Sanchez will keep it close. But then when it gets to the bullpen, Padres are going to have the edge there as well. So I think, like I said, game 1 is where I'm going to give the Giants the edge. Maybe I'm being a little biased, because maybe the Padres really have the edge every game because they're the Padres and they just have that roster. But when I just look at the matchups, I'm working mostly at matchups here. And I think definitely here the Padres have to have the edge with this particular matchup and Darvish out there. But definitely anything could happen. So I'll give the Padres the edge for game 2. But if we move on to game 3, whoo-wee, look at that matchup right there. Kevin Gausman against Blake Snell. Now, of course, I know your casual fan is going to be like, dude, what? Blake Snell is the man, dude. Former Cy Young Award winner, one of the best pitchers in the game. Gausman. But right now, Gausman was a guy, he signed a $17+ million qualifying offer. He was good enough to get a qualifying offer. He was good enough to absolutely dominate a strong young Mariners team on opening day. He was filthy. That gave him a 1.35 ERA on the season. Absolutely deserved the win. Like I said, he was stellar for the Giants on opening day, as it says here, holding the Mariners to 1 run, 4 total base runners while striking out 6 across 6 2/3. This is our ace right here. This dude is legit. This is a matchup right here. I cannot wait for this one. And like I said, on paper, maybe for the casual fan, it's not that great, but for a Giants fan, and I think very, educated Padres fans realize that Kevin Gausman is no slouch, and this should be a good one. In 2020, Gausman against the Padres, 5.06 ERA, and then you have Snell, who got an early hook in his Padres debut. Of course, he's used to early hooks, After 8 strikeouts and 4 2/3 innings, he seemed fine, didn't give up a run, but had to come out of the game.
Because the manager said he's coming out of the game.
Now, I looked into it. Now, Blake Snell is a career Tampa Bay Ray. Obviously, hasn't pitched against the Giants much, hasn't pitched against these players. But the guy who he has faced more than 3 times is Wilmer Flores, and Wilmer Flores is 3 for 5. Take that as you will. Flores could be 0 for 4 in this game. But I'm just saying, they might find a way to get Flores in that lineup because he has faced Snell before. And Gausman, you look at it man-to-man, he's done okay against most of these players, but very limited opportunities. It's not a very big sample. So this is going to be a fun one right here. I believe it's going to be a pitching duel. I believe it's going to be close. It's going to be tight. I think Gausman's going to pitch well. I got him going at least 7. I got Blake Snell going at least 6 2/3, maybe 7 as well. I think they're both going to get the game late, and it's going to be close. But unfortunately, if I'm going to say that this game is going to be, say, tied 2-2 or 3-3 late in the game and it goes to the bullpen, well, hopefully the Giants won't have to use too many pitchers, and hopefully we can get to Jake McGee or something like that. At least 1 or 2 of the guys who have been okay so far for us. Unfortunately, it's tough because of that game 1. It's very scary. But the Padres, on the other hand, have a very stacked up bullpen, very strong bullpen. Lots of good names to choose from. So all in all, I think the Padres are going to have an edge here as well, if I'm being totally honest. But that being said, I think the Giants have a great chance here with Gausman going out there. And I think if the Giants are going to win 2 out of 3 in this series, it's going to be game 1 and game 3. And of course, it is baseball. They could sweep, they could get swept. That is baseball. Giants swept the Tigers in the 2012 World Series, and Tigers were heavy favorites, and they went out and swept them. I know that's an example far removed from today, but I'm just saying anything can happen in this great game. So we'll see what happens today and tomorrow and the next for this series. But I think I got the Padres having an edge in games 2 and 3. I think the Giants might have an edge in game 1 if you just look at the matchup. But other than that, hey, let's get out there. Let's make it happen. I cannot wait. Look for a post-game show after each game. And I'm doing these series previews this year because it's tough for me to do pre-games for every single game. So that way you can see my overall thoughts. And I want to get your overall thoughts down below. Put it there. What do you think? What are the key players that have to come out and play well for the Giants to win? And I think Gausman is one of them. And definitely tonight, DeSclafani needs to pitch well. I'm really looking forward to a win tonight against the Padres. We can get off on the right foot in this series. So let me know what you think down below. Padres fans, welcome to the channel. Hit that subscribe button as well. And welcome if you are new here. We're talking baseball all the time and only baseball on the Humm Baby Baseball channel. You guys have a great day. We'll talk to you very soon. See ya!
When the Giants come to town, it's bye-bye, baby. Every time the chips are down, it's bye-bye, baby. History's in the making at Oracle Park.